You know, I'd appreciate this guy's argument a lot more if at least he was honest about it. But let's do this.
Hello and welcome back, YouTubers. I am Mario. It seems that recently New York City has approved gay marriage.
The horror. The horror.
Now, having said that, I do not approve of gays. I do not approve of gay marriage, but I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit out there with a riot sign throwing rocks at a person for doing something.
Gee, so very kind of you. Someone get this guy a medal, huh?
There's a lot of other things I don't approve of, such as genocide, murder, thievery, and just the common things that most people don't like.
'Cause you know, gay marriage, where two people fall in love and decide that they want to make it a legal binding union, is, you know, just as harmful and terrible and horrifying as murder and theft and all that other stuff. Right? Right?
But I'm not going to be the one who's being the Avenger in the night, the Dark Knight, the Batman, if you will, running around as a Caped Crusader for anti-homosexuality. If you feel that they are wrong in your opinion, perhaps you could have a civil conversation with them, voicing your opinion rather than gay bashing.
'Cause apparently equating gay marriage with murder and theft isn't gay bashing.
I think it's astonishing with this country's problems that we're really focusing on gay marriage.
So what? To fight for equal rights, we have to wait until everything else is perfect first? We have to make sure that we only argue for our equality when everything else is completely fine? I don't bloody think so.
It just seems that this country has a lot more to focus on. Like, for example, we're still at war. Did everyone forget about that? No, don't worry about it because, you know, we got gay marriage going on.
Alright then, so tell me this. If the country has much bigger fish to fry, then why are you arguing so hard against gay marriage instead of just letting it go?
You know, the economy's horrible. That's another one. The economy's horrible.
Yeah? Well, marriages aren't cheap. And putting one on creates jobs. You got caterers, you got the people you buy the gifts from, you've got decorators, you've got clothing makers, you've got car rentals, and the hotel and the airplane that the happy couple takes on their honeymoon. Okay? Marriages are great for the economy. So maybe you shouldn't be arguing against having more of them.
I can barely find any work around where I live, and these are just simple jobs.
You ever stop to think that maybe it's not the economy? That maybe it's you? Just saying. Okay, that was a cheap shot.
I'm not going to tell gay activists to stop what you're doing because they're not going to listen to me. They won't listen to anyone.
You ever stop to think that maybe they don't listen to you because what you're doing is being a big fat bigot? And that's not a cheap shot, that's what you're being. You're acting prejudiced, like it or lump it. Hate to break it to you.
Gay activists and anti-gay activists will be fighting each other neck and tooth, tooth and whatever. I don't know what the phrase is.
Tooth and nail? Sounds actually like you're going for neck and neck, which is a racing term. But tooth and nail, fighting tooth and nail, sometimes tooth and claw. Taken from someone who has her way with words.
I just think that rather than focusing on this legislation, shouldn't we be talking about or focusing more on about government reduction, reducing the size of our government, the programs that aren't necessary?
Well, first of all, I don't support any of those things you just listed. But even if I did, why don't you put your money where your mouth is, kiddo? If you want to stop talking about this, you first. Step up to the plate. Let gay marriage be legal. Let homosexuals get their way. Get our way. 'Cause yeah, I am a lesbian. And someday, who knows, I might want to get married. We'll see. So, if you really want this fight to end, step up to the plate. End it. Stop fighting against it. Or is that not what you want? You just want us to back off so you can get your way. Right? Sure sounds like it to me.
I'm very astounded that they had over 3,000 people within the first hour of the legalization of gay marriage when the amendment was approved, legislation was passed. I won't say amendment, but whatever it is, legislation was passed. There's 3,000 people lining up at the door of the church house. They had to raffle off tickets and 800 people got married that first day.
Maybe that should tell you just how much people want gay marriage. Maybe that should tell you how many people want it, how strongly they feel about it. Perhaps that should give you a clue as to what your opposition is going to be like. If you really want this to end, maybe you should just give up and let those thousands of people have their way and get married. Tell me, how does gay marriage affect your life? How does it harm you? Except having to live with the fact that there's people behaving in ways with which you disagree. Oh no, the horror, the horror. Get over yourself, kiddo.
There's a couple things you need to think about this. What if that person of the church didn't believe in that? Would he subsequently be fired for not marrying them because it's against civil rights, quote unquote?
No, of course not. Don't be a chowderhead. You see, churches are not part of the government. Churches are not beholden to what the government says is legal. They don't have to perform anything if it goes against their principles. Of course not. People might point out that they're bigoted, but you can't be fired for that. Not from an institution that's not part of the government. No. I mean, they can say, hey, go to a justice of the peace, or go to a different church that allows gay marriage. But, I mean, there's nothing that says that a religion has to give up its principles just because the government made something legal. No, it doesn't work like that.
Would the person who is doing that legislation be fired if they refuse to push the legislation through based on their own beliefs?
If you're going to be a civil servant, yes. If you are a government employee, not necessarily an elected official, but just a government employee, your personal beliefs cannot get in the way of your duties. If they do, you have no place holding that job.
Would the person who answers the phones and schedules the marriages be fired if she didn't believe in that stuff?
You'd fire a police officer or a firefighter if they refuse to save the lives of homosexuals that happen to be in danger. Same principle here, even if the scenario is different. Sorry, gotta get over it. If you want to work for the government, you're gonna have to play by some rules.
Because as we all know, this country has religious freedom. But if you can't work your job without being religiously free, then doesn't that infringe on your religious freedom?
Doesn't work like that. Religious freedom just means that no one can stop you from having a religion or from going to your place of worship. It doesn't mean that you get to enforce your religion when it comes to your employment, especially by the government.
People need to wake up and realize that America has bigger problems than this.
Alright then, buddy. Your move. Seriously, give it up. Let gay marriage happen. Then it won't be a problem anymore. Think about it.
If we were under attack right now, living in bomb shelters, I don't think gay activists would be pushing so hard to get gay marriage approved right this second.
And if they did, would you fight just as hard to stop them? Why is it always the gay side that has to give in to you? Explain that one to me.
Put it on the back burner, chill out for a while. We can start this argument back over when America's future is secure.
Even if you're being genuinely sincere right now, it sounds like prevarication. It sounds like looking for an excuse to get everyone else to drop the issue instead of you losing the battle. That's what it sounds like to me. If you really wanted this to end, if you really wanted us to focus on other issues, you could end it all by yourself, by stopping fighting against it, by not fighting, by letting us have our way. I mean, if it's as much of a crisis as you think it is, if this is as much of a distraction from that crisis as you think it is, then why haven't you dropped it? Why do you keep fighting against gay marriage? I mean, if you just let it happen, hey, problem solved. But that's not what you want, is it?
Maybe? I don't know. So guys, I'm Protomar and I'm signing out, and you can leave a comment if you differ in your opinion, but please remember I'm not out here to start a flame war. I know how YouTube comments can get, and there is no reason to do that, so if you're going to comment and you're going to talk to someone, please keep it civil.
Yeah, right. I kept it civil on your comments section. Sure, I was forceful. Sure, I didn't back down. But I was not uncivil, and you still deleted my comments. So, I'm sorry, man, but you're a liar.
Brodomarian, I'm signing on.
And this is BionicDance saying, until next time, fellow space travelers. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. You might also enjoy my webcomic, The Adventures of Kinneara Baxter. You'll find a link in the info bar, along with a link to my Zazzle store. Buy a t-shirt today. Help control the religious population. Have your theists spayed or neutered.